The spaceship Iron Hope floated through deep space. It was dark, quiet, and cold outside. Inside the ship, a team of human soldiers searched an old alien prison ship. This ship had no power, no lights, and no signs of life. Captain Roy gave the order. Search every room. Stay alert. This place feels wrong. The team moved carefully. Their boots echoed in the empty halls. Strange alien symbols covered the walls. Some were warnings. Others looked like numbers. But none of it made sense. Private. Daniel Walker, the youngest soldier in the group, walked behind the others. He felt something in his chest, a strange pull. Like something was calling him. They opened one last door. Inside was a big metal room. In the center of that room was a glowing cage. The light from the cage was soft blue, almost like moonlight. And inside the cage was a girl. She looked about 18. Her hair was white, her skin pale, and her eyes glowed faint blue. She wore a strange suit made of silver cloth. She didn't move. She just sat in the middle of the cage, watching them. What the hell is this? One soldier whispered. On the wall next to the cage, big red letters in alien language flashed. The translator said, "Danger. Do not open. Death inside." Sergeant Miko laughed nervously. Maybe she's just a prisoner. Some kind of alien criminal? But then something terrifying happened. One of the team, a tall alien from the Alliance group named Zorak, stepped forward. He touched the cage bars. Instantly he screamed. His skin burned black. He dropped to the floor dead. The girl didn't move. She just kept staring. Her eyes glowed brighter now. Everyone stepped back, weapons raised. "What did she do?" yelled Sergeant Miko. "She didn't touch him," someone shouted. "He just died." Captain Roy ordered, "Nobody touches the cage. We need to report this." But Daniel, he was still staring at her. She looked right at him. Her lips moved. "Daniel," she whispered. His blood froze. She had said his name. No one else heard it. Only him. Daniel stepped closer to the cage. The others shouted at him, "Stop, you'll die." But the girl stood up slowly. Her bare feet made no sound on the metal floor. She walked to the edge of the cage, just inches away from him. She looked up into his eyes. No fear, no anger, only something soft. Something human. Daniel asked in a quiet voice, "Who are you?" The girl whispered, "You're not like them." Then she did something no one expected. She smiled. Daniel felt his hand move without thinking. He reached out and touched the cage. Nothing happened. No burning. No pain. He was fine. Gasps filled the room. The others couldn't believe it. "She should have killed you." Someone said, "Why are you alive?" The girl closed her eyes. "I was made to kill aliens, but not humans." "What do you mean?" Daniel asked. She looked at the others. "They built me, long ago. They wanted a weapon. Something to end wars. I was the answer." Captain Roy stepped forward. "Who are they?" She looked up at the dark ceiling, as if remembering something terrible. They called themselves the Velari. They used science. Pain. They made me strong. My blood is poison. My skin burns. My bite kills. One touch and aliens die. Daniel whispered, "But I'm human." She nodded. "And that's why you're still alive." Alarms suddenly rang. On the ship, the cage was losing power. The lock was failing. Captain Roy shouted, "Back away, she's dangerous." But Daniel didn't move. The cage door clicked open. The girl stepped out. Everyone aimed their guns. But she didn't attack. She walked slowly toward Daniel, step by step. Then she reached up and touched his face. No pain, no death. Just warmth. "My name," she said softly, "is Sira." Then she looked at the rest of the team. "They will come for me." The Velari never let their weapons go. Daniel looked at the captain. "We can't leave her here." Captain Roy hesitated. Then he nodded. "Bring her aboard, carefully." Sira smiled again. For the first time in her life, she was free. But deep inside, she knew freedom always comes with a price. And the Valari were already on their way. The girl should have killed him. That's what the computer said. That's what the science sighed. That's what every alien species in the galaxy believed. But she didn't. Sira stood on the deck of the human ship Iron Hope, the cold metal floor under her bare feet. All around her, soldiers pointed guns at her head. Some shouted. Some begged, but she didn't move. She only looked at the human boy, the one who had touched the deadly cage and lived. Daniel Walker. Her poison should have burned him alive. Her skin should have ended his heart, but he was still standing, breathing, staring back at her with wide, confused eyes. I don't understand, Captain Roy said. Why didn't you kill him? Sira blinked slowly. Her voice was calm. Because he's not like them. He's not afraid of me. That's not a reason, Sergeant Maiko snapped. That's a feeling. You're a weapon, a lab monster. You killed Zorak without touching him. I didn't want to kill him, Sira said. Her voice broke a little. She turned back to Daniel. Do you believe me? Daniel nodded. I don't think you're a monster. The ship's lights flickered. A loud boom shook the walls. An alert flashed on the main screen. Unknown. Ship approaching. High threat level. Captain Roy's face turned pale. They're here, the Valari, Sira whispered. They've come to take me back. Flashback. Inside a dark lab, Sira hung by chains. Tubes ran into her back. Cold alien voices echoed in the room. She is strong now, one alien said. Good. Make her stronger. We need her ready for war. She still resists. Then break her. Pain, screaming, fire in her veins. She had begged for them to stop. They never did. Back in the present, Sira grabbed Daniel's hand. Her skin was warm, human warm. I can feel them, she said. They're not just here for me. They want your ship, your people. Sergeant Maiko raised his gun. Then give yourself up. Save us. Daniel stepped between them. No. She didn't ask to be made like this. Captain Roy looked at Sira. Can you help us stop them? Sira's blue eyes flashed. Yes, but if I fight, I might not stay human. What do you mean? Daniel asked. I don't know who I become when I use all my power. Suddenly, the ship shook again. A Valari warped slammed into the cargo bay. The door hissed open, and 6 armored aliens stormed out. They saw Sira. They smiled with their sharp, metal teeth. Project Venom Star, one of them hissed. Return now, or everyone here dies. Sira stepped forward. Slowly. Daniel shouted. No, don't go with them. She turned to him. I'm not going with them. Then she did something terrifying and beautiful. She opened her mouth. Her sharp fangs glowed blue. She screamed, but no sound came out, only light. Blinding, blue light. Every Valari in the bay dropped to their knees, screaming, melting, dying. In seconds. They were gone. Dead. Ira dropped to the floor, gasping. Her skin was cracked, glowing too. Hot. Daniel ran to her. Sira, are you okay? She opened her eyes. I used too much. I forgot who I was. Captain Roy stood behind them, shocked. She killed them all, he said. Just like that. No, Daniel said quietly. She saved us. Sira looked up at the stars through the ship window. They'll send more. And we'll be ready, Daniel said. She smiled. Maybe, for the first time in her life, she didn't feel like a weapon. Maybe she was something more. Sira dreamed of fire. Not normal fire. This one was cold, blue. Alive. It moved inside her body like liquid light, burning her from the inside. But it didn't hurt. It felt like home. Then she heard voices. The same ones from her past. Subject. 9 is stable. Finally, the human DNA worked. She is no longer just a weapon. She's becoming something else. She opened her eyes. She wasn't in the lab anymore. She was in the medbay of Iron Hope, wrapped in a heat blanket, weak but alive. Daniel sat beside her, his eyes heavy with worry. "You were out for 2 days," he said softly. "You almost burned up." Sira sat up slowly. "I saw them again. The ones who made me. I think my memories are coming back." Daniel asked, "What are you, Sira? What did they do to you?" She looked down at her hands. "They called me Project Venomstar, but that's not my name. That's just what they used to control me." He leaned closer. "Then what's the truth?" Sira stared at her reflection in the medbay glass, her pale skin, her glowing eyes. She didn't always look like this. Flashback. Long ago, in a Valari research ship, Sira had been nothing but a small child, weak, afraid, and silent. She wasn't born. She was grown, inside a tank of green liquid, on the wall. Her number blinked. Subject 09. The Valari had stolen DNA from many species: Zarnax, Krelans, Drell, but all failed. The subjects died in hours, until they tried human DNA. Something happened. Cells fought back, adapted, grew stronger, and survived. They didn't understand it, but they used it. Back in the medbay, Sira said softly, "They didn't know why human genes worked. Humans are different, wild, unpredictable, but strong. They used your DNA to build you." Daniel asked. She nodded. "My body makes a kind of toxin. It doesn't hurt humans, but it kills most alien life in seconds. Why would they build something like that?" She looked into his eyes. "To win a war." Captain Roy walked in at that moment. His face was hard. "We picked up a transmission. The Valari sent a message." "What did it say?" Daniel asked. Roy replied, "They're offering a deal. If we return her, they won't destroy us." Sira's eyes dimmed. "They always lie. They won't stop, ever." Roy asked the hard question. "How dangerous are you, really?" Sira stood up. The lights above flickered. The room became colder, and her voice, though calm, felt like thunder. "I was made to end empires. That's how dangerous I am." Everyone was silent. Then Daniel said, "But you didn't kill me." Sira looked at him. "You make me feel human." Later, alone in her room, Sira touched the mirror again. She remembered her first escape. Running through cold metal halls, killing everything in her way because she had no choice. Blood, screams, fire, but also freedom. She had never wanted to be a killer. She only wanted to be real, just once. To be something more than a weapon. She closed her eyes. But outside her room, alarms began to ring. Small alien probe had slipped through the ship's defenses. On it was a message. A voice. Familiar. Terrifying. Double quotes. Sci-Ra. It said, "Your time is up. Return to us, or your human pets will burn." It started with a whisper in the dark. No one else heard it. Only Sira. She was alone in her room, watching the stars through the glass wall, her hand pressed against the window. She had never seen so many stars before. They looked peaceful, but something inside her knew better. The whisper came again, this time sharper. "Run." She turned fast. No one was there, but something had changed. The air felt heavy, cold. And then came the sound that sent fear through her bones. A Valari signal pulse. It wasn't a normal message. It was a tracker call. They had found her. Down in the command room, alarms blared. Captain Roy slammed his fist on the control panel. Unknown ship approaching. No ID, no response. "It's faster than anything we've seen." Daniel stared at the screen. "Is it the Valari?" "Yes," Roy said. "And they're not alone." 10 red blips appeared on the radar behind the main ship, a small fleet, all headed toward Iron Hope. Sira entered the room. "They've brought hunters," she said. "Special ones. Trained only to catch things like me." "What are they?" Daniel asked. "They're not machines," she said. "And they're not alive either. They were made. Just like I was. The crew went quiet. Flashback. Inside the Volari factory, huge black tubes, floating bodies in thick green liquid. Claws, fangs, skin like armor. Sira remembered watching from her cage. One of the hunters opened its glowing red eyes. It didn't blink. It only obeyed. One word. Kill. Back on the ship, Captain Roy made a choice. We run, now, full engines. No, Sira said. We can't run forever. She turned to Daniel. I remember something. A place. The lab where they made me. I think I can find it. If we get there, maybe we can stop this. You want to go back to where they made you? Daniel asked. Sira nodded. If I face what I was, maybe I can find out who I am. Roy was unsure. You expect us to fly into enemy space? On purpose? Sira's eyes glowed. You don't understand. The longer I'm alive, the more dangerous I become. I need answers, before it's too late. Then boom. The ship shook violently. They fired a plasma net, someone yelled. They're trying to disable us. Sira's voice became calm, but cold. They don't want to kill us, not yet. They want me alive. Daniel grabbed her hand. Then we don't give them what they want. As the ship turned and ran, something attached to the hull silent. Unnoticed. A small dark creature. Red eyes. It had one task. Find the girl. Mark the ship. Let the fleet follow. The hunt had truly begun, and Sira knew. They wouldn't stop until they had her back in a cage, or dead. Sira was burning again, but this time, it wasn't in a lab. It was inside her mind. She stood in the middle of the human ship's engine room, her body shaking. Sparks flew from the lights above. The metal walls groaned like they were afraid of her. Everyone else had run out. Only Daniel stayed. Sira, talk to me. She looked at him, but her eyes weren't blue anymore. They were white. Glowing white. Her voice cracked. I can't stop it, Daniel. I feel something growing inside me. Daniel stepped forward slowly. You're not hurting anyone. Just breathe. You're in control. No, she whispered. I'm not. Earlier that day, the ship had escaped the Volari fleet barely. The engines were damaged, and the crew was tired. They stopped near a dead moon to make repairs. Sira hadn't spoken since the attack. She locked herself in the storage bay. She didn't eat. She didn't sleep. Daniel found her sitting on the cold floor, staring at her own hands. They're changing, she said. Softly. I don't feel like myself anymore. What's happening to you? She looked at him. I think I'm becoming what they wanted me to be. A weapon? Daniel asked. No, she said. Something worse. Later, a warning. The medic scanned her. The results shocked everyone. Sira's cells are multiplying faster than any living creature I've seen. The doctor said. It's like her body is rewriting itself. Captain Roy stared at the screen. Is she still human? No one could answer that. Back to the present engine room. Sira fell to her knees. White light poured from her skin. Her hair floated, like it was underwater. A low humming sound filled the room. The metal under her hands began to melt. Daniel shouted. Sira, please, you're stronger than them. You don't have to become what they made. Her voice sounded like two voices, hers. And something else. They didn't just build me to kill aliens, she said. They built me to survive anything, even myself. Suddenly, her body pulsed, and the lights on the whole ship went black. Total silence. Then, a single tear rolled down her cheek. The light faded. Her breathing slowed. And she whispered, I didn't want this. Daniel caught her before she fell. She was burning hot but alive. And in that moment, he realized something. She wasn't losing control. She was evolving. Later in the medbay, Sira slept. Daniel sat beside her, thinking. She still Sira? Was she still someone who could choose? Or just a ticking bomb waiting to explode? He looked down at her hand. It twitched. Then, Suddenly a wound on Daniel's arm healed right in front of his eyes. His eyes widened. She can heal too? He whispered. What was she becoming? And how long before the Valari found out? Again. Someone had entered her room while she was sleeping, not with a weapon, but with a choice. He stood beside Sierra's bed, watching her breathe slow, peaceful. Her skin still glowed faint blue under the soft medbay light. In his hand was a small metal disc, no bigger than a coin. It wasn't a bomb. It wasn't poison. It was a tracker. The man whispered, "I'm sorry, but this is bigger than you." And he placed the tracker behind the bed frame, where no one would see. Then he walked out, as quiet as a shadow. Earlier that day, the ship Iron Hope had found quiet space again. The Valari fleet hadn't attacked for 2 days. The crew felt hope for the first time. But hope is dangerous when it makes you blind. In the control room, Captain Roy spoke to the crew. "If Sierra's powers keep growing, we need answers fast. We're changing course to find the lab where she was made. It's risky, but if we learn the truth, maybe we can end this." Everyone agreed. Almost everyone. One man didn't speak. Lieutenant Grayson. He had been loyal to the human fleet for years, but loyalty was not the same as trust. And he didn't trust Sierra. Grayson's secret in his private terminal. Grayson opened a secret message. It was encoded, hidden, and locked to his eyes only. The sender? Valari command, message, place the tracker. Do this, and Earth will be spared. Let us take back what we created. Grayson stared at the screen. She's too powerful. One mistake, and she could wipe out our entire species. He made his choice. Back in the present, Medbay Sierra opened her eyes. She sat up quickly. Something felt wrong. Not in the room. Not around her. Inside her, a pressure in her chest. A twisting pull. A signal. She touched her skin. The glow was flickering. "Daniel," she called out. He rushed in, breathless. "What's wrong?" She held her chest. "I feel like something's watching me, inside my body." Daniel scanned her vitals. Everything looked normal, but Sierra's voice dropped. "This isn't my power. This is something else. Something foreign." Elsewhere on the ship, the tracker blinked out a soft green light. Somewhere, far across space, the Valari received the signal. The location of Iron Hope had been revealed. Their ships turned, and they were coming fast. Medbay. Hours later, Daniel sat by Sierra's bed. She was asleep again, tired from another power surge. Then he noticed something strange. His pad picked up a signal, weak but active, a hidden frequency, coming from inside the medbay. He followed the signal to the back of the room. He found the tracker. His heart dropped. Someone did this. Someone on the ship. The betrayal revealed. Captain Roy locked down the ship. "We have a traitor," he said. "Find them, now." And when they checked the security footage, the truth cut deep. Grayson. A decorated officer. One of their own. Daniel couldn't believe it. Why would he do this? Sierra answered quietly. Because they told him a lie. That turning me in would save Earth. She looked down at her hands. They always use fear to control people. Daniel clenched his jaw. "We won't let them take you." Sierra looked up. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were bright with fire. "They won't get the chance." But the Valari were already near. Too close. And this time, they weren't just coming for her. They were coming for everyone. The stars were burning, not from light, from war. Outside, the window of Iron Hope, space glowed red. Valari warships surrounded them. Dozens of them, silent, waiting, inside the ship. No one moved. No one spoke. It felt like the universe itself was holding its breath. And in the center of it all was Sierra. She stood at the front of the command deck, silent, her eyes full of fire. She had stopped glowing. Now, she was calm. Too calm. Captain Roy looked at her. "What do we do?" Sierra closed her eyes. "I go to them." Daniel stepped forward. No, that's what they want. You can't just give up. She turned to him slowly. I'm not giving up. She walked to the center of the room and placed her hand on the cold floor. I'm calling them. Flashback, years ago inside the Valari lab, the creator stood over her. She's the final version. Test her. A room full of alien prisoners. One scream from her mouth and every single one dropped dead. The Valari didn't blink. She's ready. But she had one thought even then. I don't want to be their weapon. Back in the present, a voice echoed across the ship. Harsh. Cold. Mechanical. Project Venom Star. You belong to us. Surrender. Or die with them. Sierra replied, loud and clear. I don't belong to anyone. The choice. She turned to Daniel. If I use everything I have, I don't know what will happen. You might die? He asked. She nodded. Or lose what little is left of me. Daniel's eyes filled with tears. Then don't do it. I have to, she said. Not because I'm a weapon, but because I choose to protect the ones who gave me a name, a voice, a future. She stepped into the airlock. The outer door opened, and she flew. No ship. No suit. Just her. The final battle. Sierra drifted toward the Valari flagship, glowing brighter and brighter. She was no longer a girl. She was a storm. Valari ships fired. Nothing touched her. She opened her arms, and the stars turned blue. A wave of energy exploded out of her body. Not fire, not poison. Something new. Hope. Valaya. Systems crashed. Ship shut down. Weapons died. Inside the flagship, the Valari leader screamed. She's changing the code. Sierra's DNA, part human, was rewriting their tech. From inside, she didn't destroy them with force. She broke their control. One by one, the ships drifted into silence, and then she fell. Silence back on Iron Hope. No one spoke. Daniel ran to the window. Sierra, a small shape, floated in the black. He jumped into a pod. Against orders. Later, Medbaish was alive. Barely. Her glow was gone. Her skin was warm. And when she opened her eyes, she smiled. I did it, she whispered. You did, Daniel said, holding her hand. But not as a weapon. You did it as a person. Sierra looked at the stars again. They made me to kill, but I chose to live. Epilogue, a recording. Daniel's voice, years later. We never saw the Valari again. Their empire fell in silence. Sierra stayed with us, quiet, strong, human. She saved more than just a ship. She saved the part of us that chooses kindness, even when we could destroy. And if you ever wonder who she really was, she wasn't just a weapon. She was the future.